I have 26 minutes to set up for this interview. We got into the space. The client kind of worked their way in here. We figured out we're going to land on this. They're going to be sitting here. I'm going to push the chair up likely for some background separation. And then we have plants over here that we'll kind of push towards the back to give a little bit of color. We have natural light coming in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna motivate this natural light and make it work. I wanna go with a compact setup and try something different today. I do have the space for a big 8x. This is not one of those shoots. We are not gonna go with a big 8x. So we're gonna try something a little different. I'm gonna bring in this C-stand here. Thinking we're gonna make it land right about here. It may come a little bit into the doorway. All right, get this set up. And then we're gonna have big legs going out. Always big leg going out. Next thing we're gonna set up. Now I will show more detail on this once it's all built out, but all right, so here's what we got going on. What we're gonna do is we're gonna set up a book light. Let me see if we're in frame. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up a book light, and it's gonna be a compact book light setup. So we're gonna go with one stand, save on space. So first thing up is a Cardellini. I'm gonna attach it to here. All right, so we have a Cardellini here. Good, and then I'm gonna put Cardellini here, and then I'm gonna put a shot bag, sandbag right here on the big leg. So this gives us a baby pin attachment for whatever we wanna set up. So next up, we're gonna do the clamp for the ballast. Ballast, you don't wanna put them up high, you wanna hang them down low. So it can act like a counterbalance and a weight. You don't want it up high because you're gonna raise the center of gravity. So I'm gonna put the ballast down low here. And that's in this case here. We're gonna use the 600X. I didn't know if I'd be fighting overheads or other lights, so I brought the X in to use. And then have our cables here. And then we have the light itself, which I'm gonna pull up here. Knock loose and then it's going to go right here. So you catching on what's gonna be happening here? If not, bear with me, we'll be there momentarily. So we got this guy going here, and then these two cases are pretty much done. I did toss my XLR in there. All right, and then where do we have power? We're gonna have to run power. All right, so we got power there, and then we have the head cable. I don't need to unwrap this all the way, so I'm just gonna kind of unwrap it just enough where we get what we need out of it, and then the rest is gonna stay kind of wrapped up. No reason to unravel the whole thing. I'm gonna put the excess on the hook here, and then I'm gonna pull a little bit here and plug right up. All right, so we got our 600X, it's going here. All right, what's the next step? We gotta get a cone for this. I'm gonna grab one out of the van. Cone goes on, connects here. All right, we're going straight up there. Next portion of the build, we are going to attach a either 4x, 40x40, whatever the case may be. This is on the wrong side. We are going to attach an Ultra Bounce. So it's gonna come down, and here we go. So this is what we have. All right, what am I noticing? I could probably go back a little and get a little more out of this, but this could always be turned to bounce here, and this will just pick up any excess. So we're still hitting here. Shouldn't have too much spill. But what I will do is I could possibly move it back a little, and I don't think it's gonna hurt anything. So let's do that. What I could actually do is I could center it a little more by removing the gobo arm. So I've never set it up, so I'm testing it out right now. Get rid of that arm. This brings it closer to the center, so we're not off so much. And I have the camera off to this side because of the clamp. So what I can do is I can flip this clamp around. That's what's getting cross-threaded. All right, that's a lot better. Perfect. Tighten this guy up and then straighten this guy out. Perfect. Okay, now back to where we were. Let's pop this guy back on and we're rocking. Now there is an option to bring the light further back. I don't think it's necessary for what we're doing, but you do have that option. All right, that's more centered now. Perfect. All right, next step. I'm gonna grab a couple clamp, and this is actually from a 6x frame that I have. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attach that, okay, up here. Oh, if it wants to attach to itself. All right, that's good enough. It will hold. So we're gonna put this up here to give us a little bit of extension. Be careful not to clamp onto the soft part of your setup. So where your money portion of it is, you don't want to be clamping stuff onto there because you're going to damage it. And then grab a couple more clamps. We're going to throw a 6x diff on there. So right now, should be able to just hook this in here. There. All right. So now we have a big 6x diffusion. And when we turn on the light, it's going to bounce in here. We have a book light. Now we got to skirt these sides. We will get a little spill up top, but that's perfectly fine with what we're doing. There it is. We have our book light. All right, so what I may do is I may adjust the height of this guy so then I could pull this back. So I'm going to adjust that height. Get a little bit higher and out of the way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that gobbo arm and I'm going to stick it through here. So if you get a good floppy, you actually have a slot in the side to put something like this in. And then I bring that back and clamp it. So now it's off of it. Got a nice book light, and I can make sure that we're hitting right there, looking good. Now what you could do is you could come in with barn doors, or you could come in with some cinefoil here and kind of cut this off. But I think it's going to look great overall the way it is, giving us a nice soft source. Let's see what output we're at. 100. All right. That's what we have. So I would probably do it in this manner. Let me push y'all over to see. So the subject is sitting here. I've got a nice source of light, soft light. Probably match it to whatever we have coming in here naturally. So here's the setup. We have a 6x6 quarter grid cloth. We used a frame from a 6x6. It's just a little frame. You could actually use anything that will just make it reach the span. It is clamped on with clamps, and then the grid is clamped on, which it could be tied off. I did go with a tablecloth to cut the sides, and then I have a clamp here. When we go inside, we have the 600X shooting straight up, bouncing, creating our soft diffusion from the bounce, and then we're going through our 6x. So we're turning this 40x40 into a 6x, and we're double diffusing. Let's get in there and show you the clamp setup. So, oh, piece of gaff tape. Get that out of here. All right, so you can see here, this is the clamp, which is a Cardellini, and I got the one where it has the spigot right here, so we have shorter height rather than the one that's like on the end here and it would be sticking up too much. So we're going to get as low to the ground as possible. There's other methods of doing this. This is just the way that I chose to be quick. Then we have the gobo arm here holding this down nice and straight, and then this is an Ultra Bounce floppy. And then we have the ballast here. I moved it up so we could pull back here, and then we have the tablecloth, which is just a cheap tablecloth that can be used, and it turns it into this, kind of looks like those old school projector TVs. But yeah, now we have a big soft source for our subject.